Hi, welcome to Maree P. Today I've got a raspberry and lemon cake. I'm doing it with spelt, but you can swap it out for your favourite flour. And it's great. Lemon and raspberries, they're like flavour friends. They go so well together. It's moist, it's not too fancy, and it's delicious with a cup of tea or coffee. So if you'd like to see how to make my raspberry and lemon cake, come with me and let's see. And if you're new here today, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. And don't forget, consider subscribing if you haven't already subscribed. And remember, hit the bell, then you get notified as soon as I have a new video. I'm doing 3 videos a week just so I can share more recipes with you. So enough of me talking, let's get mixing. So the first step for our raspberry and lemon cake today, we need to pop our oven on 160 degrees C, and we're going to mix it in a bowl. But before we do that, I'll just show you, we've got our springform tin just greased with butter around the sides and the bottom, and I've just put paper down the bottom. That's all you really need for this style of cake. The next step, so step 2, we need to grab a tablespoon of lemon juice, and I've got some milk, just whole milk in this jug. So I've got 3 tablespoons, I'm just popping that together. So we're creating like a buttermilk so it curdles. And I've also done this recipe with oat milk, if any of you out there are following a plant-based diet. So we're just going to set that aside. So next we're going to whip up our butter and sugar together. So I've got some pre-softened unsalted butter. So we'll just pop that in. Let me just check my notes as I go. So yeah, as I said, it's room temperature and it's 165 grams or 3/4 cup. So it's very soft because my kitchen's now getting a bit warm. And in this bowl I've got caster sugar, so I've just popped that in as well, and we've got 3/4 cup or 150 grams. So whip those two together. So I've just got it on low for about 30 seconds, and once they're a little bit combined, and then I'll just put it on medium. So that's number 2 on my KitchenAid. So next I'm going to sift my flour. So I've got a sifter, and I'm doing it with spelt flour, but like all my recipes, you can swap it out just for regular plain flour. And then I've got 2 teaspoons of baking powder and half a teaspoon of bicarb soda. And you can also use self-raising flour and just leave out the baking powder. So in there I've got 165 grams of the flour, or that's 1 cup plus a third. So you can either whisk it to combine it like that, but what I should have done before I started talking was sift it. So I'm just going to rewind myself, pop this back in this bowl. Sometimes I start talking away to the camera and forget what I'm actually doing. So let's sift that, Sue. It's almost a rhyme. Sift it, Sue. Sift it, Sue. We'll do a little bit of a sifting dance. And a big shout out to some of my watchers. Hi Jake, and hi Miss E. You might want to make this cake with your mum. I'm going to stop that, because that's really ready. It's quite pale, so it's nice and whipped up. So that's all ready to go. Just leave that there. But now I'm going to add the eggs. So I've got 3 free-range eggs, large size. So I'm just going to add 1 at a time. So we're going to stop and scrape. That's what I wanted to say. Add another egg. Add the other egg. That's all of our 3 eggs in. I'm just going to scrape that down a little bit to get all that butter off there. So just before we add the flour, I'm going to grab this curdled milk now, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of lemon zest, which I've already pre-zested. And I just like to add a little bit of yogurt. I've got Greek yogurt here, so I'm going to add in just 1 tablespoon. That was quite a generous tablespoon. And if you didn't have Greek yogurt in the fridge, you can add a little bit more milk. So add an extra tablespoon of milk and it will still taste really good. So we'll just stir that together. So now we're going to add in the flour, but what we're going to do is we're going to alternate. We're going to add 1/3 of the flour first, half of this milk mix. We're just gently combining both the flour and the milk mix. And I'm going to scrape it with each blend. This just ensures that the cake's quite light and fluffy. I'm going to add more of the flour. I'm going to add the rest of this milk mix. Mix that together, then we'll finish with the flour. I'm not going to fully mix all that flour in. I just want to finish it with just with the spatula. I don't want to overmix it. That all off the paddle attachment as much as you can. So it's kind of still a little bit unmixed, so I'm just finishing it off, just folding in that balance of the flour. Now we need to grab our raspberries out of the freezer. I'm using frozen raspberries because they're not in season here, but if they're in season where you live, use fresh raspberries. So I've got my raspberries out of the freezer. So what I'm going to do is, back in this large bowl, I've got 100 grams, which I've already measured out, and I've hand-picked all the raspberries that are a full size, just because I think it looks better. So a little tip to stop the raspberries sinking to the bottom of your cake. We're going to add some flour. That's just about a tablespoon. Just going to toss those raspberries in the flour. And we're going to fold them without the extra flour, just the raspberries into the mix. I don't like to add too many raspberries because I find that the cake gets a little bit soggy. So just fold those gently. So I don't want to mash my raspberries up. I'm just going to grab my tin, pour my batter in. Just smooth it over so it's all flat. Now if you like, you can add a few extra raspberries to the top, but I'm just going to leave it like that and pop it in the oven. So we're going to bake it for about 35 to 45 minutes. I'll check it at 35 minutes and I'll use a little skewer, and if it comes out clean, then it's done. We just want it to be nice and golden brown. So let's pop it in the oven. So we're back with our cake. It took 35 minutes and I've had it cooling for about an hour now. So I've got some icing sugar in this little container and I'm just going to dust it just like that. Really simple, very Italian style, and then it's ready to serve. But I do have a raspberry cream cheese icing that I'll pop a link to my website, and there's a recipe for that there if you want to do a fancy drizzle icing. But I'm just going to keep it simple today. Yum, yum, yum. Check that out. Well, my theory about not getting the raspberries to the bottom didn't really work. It kind of sunk, but let's try it anyway. It's delicious. It's lemony, it's light, it's fluffy. The zing of raspberries, even though they're sunk to the bottom. I hope you've liked my video. Hit the thumbs up. Write a comment below, and don't forget, consider subscribing if you're new here today. All you need to do is hit the bell, share this with a friend, try baking it yourself, swap out the raspberries and pop blueberries in there, and I'll pop a few other links up above for my strawberry cake, my flourless lemon cake, and a few other videos. And enjoy. See you next time. Bye.